And welcome back, YouTube. Picking up where we left off last time in Factorio. Where I said I was going to make the decision, and I didn't actually get around to making the decision. For the moment, because everything's so spaghetti, I think I'm going to go productivity modules. We'll get everything filled with productivity modules. Oh, and that's not running, because we don't got any green? Is that what we're backed up on? Yeah, we got plastic in the green slot. Because of course we have plastic in the green slot. Is there a way to specify what goes in the slot? I think there might be in a buffered chest situation. Sort of, okay. You know what? I'm just gonna let this work the wrong way. The big problem with running it that way, which is why I didn't want to do it that way to start with, is that's gonna scrap every red. Oh, we finished their science queue, okay. Don't really care about robot follower count. Discharge defense I'm not interested in. Not interested in the flamethrowers, the explosives. Insert capacity might be interesting at some point. Right now it's just increasing the bulk inserter, which I have figured out. The bulk inserter used to be called stack inserter, and now they've added stack inserter, which actually stacks things, is basically how that works. Not that I have what I need to research. So right now all I've got left is stuff that will increase the bulk inserter. So I could do three rungs of bulk inserter if I wanted to. And they're not that expensive, so I'll just go ahead and do it. I'll bite the bullet and just do it. This next one, which is the one I can't do, is the one that will increase the bulk on the non-bulk inserters. And then with that, we're basically back to trying to make our recyclers so we can leave. So I assume at some point we're going to run a track into here. This is probably likely to just be a back and forth track. There doesn't need to be anything super special. Just plop a bit of track down. I don't necessarily want to build the foundations to build the elevator track right now. Okay, for you, we are waiting on steel, I believe. Maybe some gears as well. Mostly steel. No, no, must not be that. Steel gears. Ah, well, they're short on a bit of blue. Get the next 10 queued up. Might put productivity. Oh, productivity can only go in final, in intermediate products. You can get productivity, you can get productivity, you can get productivity. Concrete is the final product. This isn't necessarily adding up to much, and it's actually technically throwing everything down, because it's about basically a 1% speed slow down, right? Because we basically it's losing 5% speed, but it's 4% chance or sums every 4%, basically an extra cycle completing. So it's going to be basically a 1% speed and slow down for each one of those in a thing, but. Doesn't really matter which chest I put that in, as long as it goes in a chest, so the bots can deliver it. Productivity, productivity, productivity. Can't shove it in you. Electric engines aren't an end product. Pipes are an end product, that's a good thing to remember. What is not an end product? Again, I think about the point where the only thing left to throw productivity modules in would be recyclers. That's actually a question. Can I throw... Can't actually throw the productivity modules in the recyclers. No productive recyclers. At this point, I'm making productivity modules to turn into productivity tubes. And then we'll go around upgrading all the productivity 1s to productivity 2s until I run out of productivity 1s, and I'll have to go back to make productivity 1s. Now it's reminding me about the elevated rails that we researched in, I think, the last part, actually. Not going to go read the tip. These things actually use 5, so these are pretty potent for stacking productivity in. Productivity modules there. Blink out 4 of you, toss 4 of you in. Oh wait, that's only going to give us one more cycle. We're just going to have to go back to making productivity once. Okay. Oh, we can do one more cycle. Oh, and I gotta remember this has an inherent 50% productivity. So every 2 cycles you get an extra thing back. So back to productivity 1, which means we want some green circuits. Coincidentally, happen to have a stack in the inventory. And a stack on the red ones. Yeah, at some point it's going to be going back over to speed. What am I short on? I'm short on blue ones because I've been turning them into other things. Yeah, that makes sense. The blue are the second rarest? No, well, third rarest thing that comes out of the scrapping. Scrap. And our scrap right now does appear to be scrapper throughput limited, not sorting limited. So I am probably also raising our power consumption, which is the case. We are consuming more than the boilers can output. How much cargo do we have loaded on the Bob Fizzy? We have half of the recyclers I was thinking of bringing along with me loaded. I'm going to bring like 100 so we can do a bunch of... basically start a quality production line on Nauvis. So how many of those do I need? 1, 2, 3, 8, 12, 18, 22, 28, 36, 39. And this is 4-to-1? So, excluding productivity, which is going to screw the math up. Well, actually, the productivity won't screw the math up too much. I basically need enough recipes to make 2/3 of my order, right? So if I want 39, I need to make 26 recipes. So I need 104 of the productivity modules. But that's before I take them back. So as I do the replacement, we get them back to put back out, upgraded, right? So that would take 39 off of the 104. So I technically only need 65 of them. Once we've got 64 of them here, we can stop at making productivity modules and swap back over to productivity 2. You're waiting on blue, which we're going to run into a problem because we're going to want more blue. So I suppose in a way it's a good thing we're scrapping the red and not the blue, because I do need the blue more than red for what I'm trying to ship. Both to ship and to make the things I want to ship. Interesting. Or we might not be making enough water here. That would be an interesting paradox. We're throughput limited on the ice melting. And adding more productivity modules is not necessarily going to make that better. Well, better productivity modules is not necessarily going to make that better. In fact, my immediate estimation is probably going to make it worse. Yeah, it's going to make it worse. We're going to go through the ice slower, which is not actually what we want to do. If that's the case, let's take these off. We won't get productivity anymore, but it'll at least run faster. And I can swap those out to speed modules later. Whereas we don't have the problem with the water on these ones. But they're also not very running. That one's running 2 things, this is running 1 thing, right? We're not running very much water consumption off of those. Okay, now we're going to swap over to 2. Which is where we need the blue. So everything's going to come through a hole again, because we just need so much blue. I don't think it makes sense to make blue here, because we have to make sulfuric acid. We're better off scrapping, trying to scrap faster. Though there's a little bit of probability on the scrap. I don't think we get a 100% yield scrap-wise. Right, because it's saying 20% return on the ingredients. So this planet is Fulgora. So if we go look at the space map, once you're able to leave the planet, you can see which planets are available. So I've researched the ability to go to Vulcanus and to Fulgora. Fulgora is the one I've gone to first. I actually researched Vulcanus while I was here. Basically set the base up to research the other one while we were here. This planet is interesting because instead of oceans of water, it's got oceans of heavy oil. And instead of... how to describe it? And instead of doing mining, you've got a bunch of ruins on the planet, right? So you're basically mining the ruins for things to scrap. And I'm glancing at my technology and saying that other than the repeatables, other than the repeatables, most of the stuff I have here that are interesting are things I probably don't really care about. Or require things that I don't have, right? Because I haven't actually automated utility science. I'll go ahead and start doing some mining productivity while we're waiting to get back off the planet. We're limited blue. And then when you first land on the planet has a day-night cycle, much like the planet you start on. But during the night, it basically is a thunderstorm. And that's actually your main source of power early on, is you basically are harvesting power from the lightning of the thunderstorm. Oh yeah, I've definitely had choke in factories. One thing that I've occasionally had to come back and do is, as I expand the factory, is I'm having to upgrade the buses just to have the throughput handling. So you can see it originally had a 4-lane yellow bus, and half the yellow bus is now red just because that was what was required to get the throughput through the bus. And to be fair, I have it set up so it's sort of like, this section eats 1 belt, this section eats 1 belt, so I have to delete a belt coming off, delete a belt coming off. This section needs a belt, this section, like, yeah. Definitely, always the buses getting choked. Always because you never planned far enough ahead, right? This is the first time, because this is my first time doing Space Age, this is the first time I've gone past launching the first rocket, so definitely all of the pre-planning went like, Yeah, this is perfect for launching a rocket. Didn't hold up after the rocket was launched, but, you know, it made it that far. So what I'm doing is, because of the scrap mining, we're basically getting a mix of stuff. So this is basically what the scrap recycling recycles into, right? So the whole gimmick around this planet is you do a bunch of recycling, and you got the occasional thunderstorm, which you're having to set up electrical power collection to sort of protect yourself from. And as you can see, that's a surprisingly mix of some fairly late game stuff, right? Batteries is not basic. Advanced circuits are not basic. Processing units are definitely not basic, right? But then there's also the lack of, like, there's no copper, there's no iron, so you have to scrap things back into copper and iron if you want copper and iron. And yeah, this is it creates a very interesting challenge of how do you work around not having your basic stuff. You've gotten used to having the basic stuff. Now learn how to deal with that, because you don't have it here. So right now my recyclers here are giving me a trickle of processing units. So I'm actually taking advantage of that processing unit trickle, both to make the recyclers, because the recyclers themselves cost blue units, processing units. And then I'm also using that as to make things like productivity modules, because they're a pain to make on Nauvis, but when you're just getting a trickle of blue from recycling things, yep, you can ship things back to the first planet, which is actually what I'm in the process of doing. So I'm loading up my ship that is actually built. So I've got a little platform over Nauvis here. That's sole purpose is to make space science. We've got what will be a space station at some point. I'm going to park over Fulgora to help with Fulgora's complications, right? So Fulgora doesn't have iron production, doesn't have good ice production, so I was going to make more iron and ice. But this is being built over Nauvis, so it's going to take forever to build. This is actually the ship that I have that has an engine that flew me over here. And I'm having it load up with recyclers, which are made on Fulgora, and electromagnetic science packs, which are the science from here, because I'm going to take those back. So when I leave, I want to fly up here, have this thing full of these things, and we're just going to fly back to Nauvis with them on board. I could also technically have, and I have done, we went ahead and a lot of, you notice I have some solar panels here. They're not very good here. They're like 20% effectiveness here, but those are actually shipped in from Nauvis. I didn't build them here. I shipped them in. I shipped in a bunch of accumulators to help as well. And actually at this point, all the assembly machine 3s got shipped in. And the electric furnaces. The rest has been built here. From scrap. And there's a little bit of spaghetti, and there's also a little bit of just straight-up hand-fading on some of the things here to make it work. What backed up in my sorter? The stone backed up in the sorter. Okay, we're gonna manually remove some of the stone from the network then. That storage has run out of space. That storage has run out of space. I'm surprised that we've got scrapper sitting in that. Are we having shipping problems? We're only having shipping problems. I'm taking all the blue circuits. That's probably what the problem is. Oh no, it's a rocket fuel issue. Not getting enough rocket fuel to get the rocket launch going. Well, I hope you find the time to play. I don't know if you watch stuff on YouTube, but technically I've been making this for YouTube, so basically record it live on Twitch and then I upload it to YouTube. Some more productivity modules. I suppose because my bottleneck right now is actually the rocket fuel, that maybe putting productivity modules in the rocket fuel maker is not the smartest idea. Yeah, because this would actually be faster if I didn't do that. Let's undo that then. We'll stick the productivity modules in the rocket launcher. Because we're input limited on the launches. We're not input limited as much on the rocket launcher or on the rocket fuel itself. In fact, it's the other way around. I kind of wanted to go through the solid fuel because the solid fuel has been something that's backed up the system every once in a while. You're waiting on accumulators. What's the accumulators waiting on? You need to give it batteries. Yep, that would do it. We need some iron plate for that. Okay. Do I have a passive rated chest? No. That's going to be annoying in a bit. We'll take that. Pick the guy up. Come on. So I'm realizing that I don't have the power production that I want because I don't have the iron sticks that I need to... I never automated the iron stick production to make my power poles. Let's automate the power poles properly, so we don't have that problem in the future. Steel chest, which means I need steel. And you're not green. Not the red. Okay, so I'm just short green. How do I want to get green? Probably back out some red and green. Not really what I want to do, but it's a thing that I can do very quickly to sort that problem. There we go. Let's just sort power poles. There's the other scrap fields. There's the other scrap fields. I should probably set my scrapping up. Yeah, looking at it, we already depleted. Well, starting to deplete bits of the field. spaces between those ones? I did. That'll be fine. Yoink those for the moment. Where did I put my assembling machines? I know I had some. Or miners. There's the miners. Bring these with me, the robots can set them up. Go, my partner robots. Go build the thing for me. Okay. Okay, now I just need to get a bunch of those built. Which is going to be running around grabbing stuff to make that a thing. Oops, that's the wrong end of that. Okay, let's see if that's enough to get that built. Maybe. Not that more throughput of the mines are necessarily going to immediately help with throughput of the blue science or the blue circuits, but what I need another splitter. Do I have what I need on me for the splitter? No. We need an underground as well. We do have the stuff to make the underground while I'm waiting here. And then deliver that. We have some lightning attractors here, which are helping to protect everything from the lightning. So this is the case of the naturally occurring ones, and then I do have one of the ones that's not naturally occurring. people who are joining in later. Let's see if I can find one of those. Here it is. Lightning Rod. So the Nolan that's not naturally occurring provides you power when they get struck. So at some point I might go down and tear down the old ones. The old ones. That have been there for a while. So that I can put power collecting ones there instead. I need a little bit more. Oh. And the bots should be able to handle the rest of the deliveries. And there we go. So now I can do what you often do with buses when you want to make things go faster, which is you run down the bus, grabbing all the stuff off the bus, and you randomly feed them stuff. Okay, so what do I want? Productive. We'll throw this other one in the rocket, make the rocket a little bit more productive. Rocket's actually waiting for things to launch. Which, for practical purposes, means it's probably waiting for me to save up some blue circuits to make the recyclers. Because we're not really in a rush to get the science going. Only 141? Pretty sure he made more than that. Hasn't been launched. Oh no, you're having that problem. You know, the whole thing works better if you remember the most important portion, which is the insert at the beginning of the whole pipeline that makes the thing work. Yeah, that definitely makes the whole thing better. Okay, technically I think I only need 3 more productivity modules. Which that should make. At which point I'll probably try swapping over to speed, because everything else we're probably going to want just to go faster and not necessarily better. Oh no, we probably want productivity modules in the iron stick producer. Ah, the wonders of probabilistic results. So there's a 25% chance every time this takes in an iron gear wheel that we get 1 iron out. Yeah, if that sounds horrible, because it is. Oh, we're going to get 1 more cycle of productivity 2 module. I'll just live with the fact that we're not going to have more. And then we'll swap over to speed. Because speed is what we're going to do for things like fuel. And might be what I want to put in the recyclers, just to make the recyclers go faster. Can't put productivity modules in the recyclers, sadly. Oh, you need plastic. Where was I getting the copper to feed you? I know I never properly automated that. It was some degree of, I have to manually feed things into scrappers to make work. Actually, I know where you're getting plastic from. It was the copper that was the thing that doesn't make any sense. Oh, I automated the copper. That makes sense with the copper. Okay. Two blue circuits short. Grab a bunch of scrap. And we'll toss it in our scrapper. Toss it in the manually fed scrapper. Alright, well the accumulators are working, which means we are actually going to get that science on some scale of eventuality. And more scrappers. There's another load for the spaceship. Network doesn't work that way. Okay. Any passive chest, just not that one. That's me making you work for it. We've got 70 loaded. Want to make another 20. Might not make it during this part, because I got distracted and made a bunch of productivity modules instead, which slowed us down. Well, slowed me down. Steel's looking fine, but currently it is. We're gonna run into steel problems soon again, because apparently that's still potentially a bottleneck. Yeah, looking at the time, this is probably where I should go ahead and put the part break in. Basically hooked up most of the buildings, apparently, that I want to run productivity in. There's some like this building where I could run productivity, but in retrospect should probably be speed modules, which is what we're currently working on developing now. And then anything that's end of line processing has to be speed, and then the scrappers have to be speed if I want to operate them faster. Yeah, and if the boilers aren't running, what, 12 boilers should be, well, actually, because this is giving me the, yeah, okay, they're running, their peak is 11 megawatts. So we're basically full. I was wondering if it was actually water that was the throughput issue. And yeah, doesn't look like water is the throughput issue. Oh no, water is probably a throughput issue. It just isn't an apparent one because whenever it's nighttime, we're getting the lightning strikes. Water backs up in the system is what happens. So we have water shortage during the day, and during the night, when the electrical power is a thing, we don't have water issues. Our accumulators are handling the spikes, and the solar power is terrible because the solar power is terrible here. So I think this is where I'm going to go ahead and put the part break in. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'll probably get around to recording another part by tomorrow. Well, your tomorrow. There'll probably be another part up, because I'll get around to recording it. If you're watching on Twitch, I'm going to go ahead and try to stream again. Probably in 4 days. That was the reason to swapping over to recording 4 parts. So if you're interested in seeing more on Twitch, check back in 4 days. Hopefully I'll get to streaming earlier, so the stream won't be ending around 2 in the morning. Should hopefully end around midnight if everything goes according to plan. But I started the stream late today. And yeah, if you want to see any of the older VODs, you can go watch those on YouTube. And if you're on YouTube, and you can't wait for the next part to come up, you may be able to go up onto Twitch and see the VOD, because the VODs stay up on Twitch for 7 days. So until the next stream, wish you all good luck and a good time. And before I forget, I should remember to save. So that was the 22nd stream, so now we're going to save 23. So until next time, bye for now.